986 by Kaczmarek. That was last year, Natalia Kaczmarek. Gachka, Kinga Gachka, goes on the outside for Poland. The 23-year-old has only run 54.1 this year. Her lifetime best, though, is 52.0, so she may improve her season's best here. Amila Rowe of Australia, third in their championships. Just 18 years old, the Aussie. She goes in lane 8. Her first race in the Northern Hemisphere this. She's got to be nervous. Gabby Scott of Puerto Rico goes in lane 7. 51.06. She ran on the 19th of April, but she's a 50.5 athlete, is Gabby Scott. There's Evelis Aguiar, 32 years old. She has improved massively this year. 49.80 at altitude in Bogota back in early April. She only made the quarterfinals in Paris. 52.8 last year. Natalia Bukowiecka, there she is. A real star of Polish athletics. Twice an Olympic silver medalist in Tokyo 21 in both relays. She was second in Doha recently. That was only 3 weeks ago or so. 50.92. Good lane draw too for her in lane 5. Svetlana Urszatic, another Polish heroine. European champion back in 2018 in Berlin. She's run 51.2 this year, within a second of her lifetime best. Lauren Gale of Canada goes in lane 3, 51.0 this season, but she's a 50.4 athlete at her best. That's a good lane draw for Gale. Lada Vondrova, the Czech European Under-23 champion back in 2021, the former footballer who goes in lane 2. And then Anastasia Kush, just 18 years old. She ran leg 3 at the World Indoors in Nanjing for Poland when they took the silver medal in the 4x400 meters. She's already got big experience just a few weeks ago in China in a global championships. Our season's best, though, Kuz in lane 1, just 53.06. She has run 51.8. That was last year. So Kuz in 1. Lada Vondrova, former European Under-23 champion, in 2 for the Czech Republic. The Canadian Gale in 3. Svetlana Urszatic in 4. Watch her. Can she find her best form? Natalia Bukowiecka goes in lane 5 for Poland. Favorite, I guess, here. Aguilar of Colombia in 6. Puerto Rican Scott in 7. Rowe of Australia 8. The Pole Gachka in lane 9 on the outside.
So.
Well, Bukowiecka loves to run aggressively. Her season's best 50.9. She ran 48.9 last year at the London Diamond League. There she is in the all-red centre of picture. She's gone off pretty hard, moving up alongside Aguilar of Colombia. Svetlana Urszatic has got a lot of work to do at the moment in lane 4. Going well, Scott of Puerto Rico out in lane 7. She eases past Gachka, the youngster, out in lane 9 in the yellow. But a nice balanced race from Bukowiecka so far. Brilliant running in lane 3 from Gale of Canada. What an aggressive 300 she's run so far. She hasn't broken 51 seconds this year, but she might have to here. Now she begins to tread water as Bukowiecka, who's judged this one perfectly, moves through in the red there in lane 5. Going away from the field, a real battle royal for the minor places. She wins it 50.45. Brilliant run from Lauren Gale, who just started treading water over the last 50 or 60. And then great running and a real battle for third place there towards the outer lanes. But what time has she been confirmed with? 50.44 there for Natalia Bukowiecka. It is a big season's best for her. She has run a second and a half quicker than that, so there's so much more to come. But that puts her up in about 15th place on the world rankings this year. Very, very competent indeed. You know, Hannah, one of the features of her racing is she runs beautifully balanced races. She stays strong down the home straight. And that skill of spreading your strength and ability throughout the full distance eludes so many athletes.
No, Bukowiecka, she's always reliable in that last 50 metres. That's a big chunk off her season's best. And she seems to measure the season well as well. It's not only each race, it's as we move through every month and you get closer to a big championships, she just rounds into form. And I think Bukowiecka was part of those relay squads for so long that were picking up medals. And then there was just a change in her attitude a couple of years ago. And she went, no, look, I can get my individual medals. And she almost had to take a step back from her relay commitments to kind of unleash that form and be able to get herself on global podiums. And she picked up a small injury indoors, if you remember as well. She was due to do a full...
As we turn our attention now to the women's 400 meters. So right on the outside, that's Alicia Schmidt. The German 52.07 her best, has been dabbling with the 800, looking to transition to the 800, but only a best of 205. I mean, that's not going to challenge even a national final over in Germany. So it hasn't had too much success when looking to step up to the 800. So was an athlete who was consistent in that German 4x4 quartet, perhaps stepping back down again. Paris Peoples then. Great to have her here, the Arkansas athlete. She won in Italy just a few days ago, actually. So she comes into this in good form. Well, Coetzee, Chirani's a no-show. Miranda Coetzee of South Africa. Another athlete to look out for. Well, there is Chirani, apologies. She goes in 3. A slight change on the lane draw, 51.06. What can she do? She's a consistent Italian 4x4 runner, is Chirani. And on the men's side, we've got almost their whole quartet who are going to line up. And Mari Bonin. World University Games gold medalist. Fantastic platform for athletes like that to really kickstart their senior campaigns. And there's Veronica Georgia pitch on the inside, 51.72. Tough lane draw for her, considering it comes to lifetime best. She's within 0.5 of a second to the fastest in the field. So Paris Peoples and Coetzee are the ones to look out for. They go in 4 and 5. Coetzee, 2 times the African champion. Can she win here? A lot of South Africans base themselves here during their winter, during their summer season. Coetzee's one of them.
Step.
So the women's 400-meter final is off and away. Look out for Coetzee, as I mentioned. She goes in 4. Starting fast. Paris Peoples in 5. Already up on Alicia Schmidt on the outside. You'd expect that. She's a second or so better than her just this year. So Schmidt struggling to hold pace with Paris Peoples, who is looking very, very smooth through this opening 200. And this the 2-time African champion, but today is not going to be her day, as Paris Peoples is just cruising around the top end. We'll have to keep an eye on the clock here, because this could be fast, ladies and gentlemen. On the inside as well, Chirani, Virginia Chirani. Could we have an Italian victor here? Mitilano Sabidorio. Or is the American going to cause an upset? She's going to hang on, it looks like. The 2 Italians will come through. Chirani gets second, 51.56. For Peoples, just a 0.2 of a second of her season's best. Well, she had that race won for me in the first 200, didn't she, really? I mean, Coetzee was supposed to be her nearest challenge. She'll be very, very disappointed with that. 50.6, her lifetime best, way off the mark today. I'm sure she'll have her reasons. Never easy, but when the winning time is 51.5 as well, you look at that, and that could have boosted her world ranking points from Coetzee, because that's going to be all important for a lot of these women. Look at their qualifying mark, 50.75. Coetzee does have, but not this year. So Paris Peoples, the American, conquers in Italy. Chirani in second there, dipping below 52 seconds. And the Croatian right on the inside. I mentioned she had a tough lane draw, 52.28. Punched way above her weight in that field. Now dipping Coetzee. Biljon there as well, another South African. And Schmidt, 53.41. The German 4x4 run down in 6th place. There's your winner. There'll be 2 men's 400 meter races up next. And we welcome more South Africans, more Jamaicans, and more Australians as well. A little bit of a theme to it here, and of course Italians on home soil. But the international stars tend to come from just those 3 nations: South Africa, Australia, Jamaica. And there you have it. First American winner today, Paris Peoples. Looks happy enough, doesn't she? Brilliant crowd here. I mean, they are very, very engaging. It's a great noise on that home straight. And you've got to love these meetings on the European circuit, haven't you? I mean, this is proper European racing. Once upon a time, the Diamond Leagues didn't always exist.
The women's 400 meters at the 2025 Arena Śląska Memorial in Bydgoszcz offered a revealing early-season snapshot of how different pathways, racing philosophies, and levels of competitive maturity collide on the same track. With a deep international field featuring athletes from Europe and the Americas, the race became less about raw speed and more about execution, decision-making, and the ability to finish under pressure. From the gun, the contrast in approaches was immediately clear. Svetlana Urszatic committed fully to an aggressive opening phase, attacking the first 200 meters with intent, while others chose restraint. Canada's Lauren Gale pushed the tempo even further, producing one of the boldest first 300 meters of the race. Her surge disrupted the rhythm of the field and forced the pace into uncomfortable territory, particularly for athletes still searching for early-season sharpness. In stark contrast, Poland's Natalia Bukowiecka demonstrated the value of composure. Running on home soil, she resisted the temptation to respond to the early fireworks, settling into a controlled rhythm that allowed her efficiency to shine later. This patience reflected her evolution from a relay specialist into a genuine individual contender, an athlete now capable of reading a race rather than reacting emotionally to it. Gabby Scott of Puerto Rico occupied the space between those extremes. Known for her strength on the backstretch, she positioned herself intelligently through the midpoint, maintaining contact without overextending. Her race highlighted consistency and competitive awareness, keeping her in podium contention as others began to fade. The final bend exposed the cost of early aggression. Gale's pace began to unravel, while Bukowiecka's smooth mechanics allowed her to glide past tiring rivals with authority. What separated her was not a dramatic surge, but efficiency, minimal wasted movement, stable posture, and a calm transition into the home stretch. A similar contrast appeared when examining other entries in the broader 400-meter landscape. Germany's Alicia Smith, for example, represents an athlete in transition. After experimenting with the 800 meters, where her 2:05 personal best limits her competitiveness, she appears to be refocusing on the 400, a distance better suited to her strengths as a reliable relay runner. Unlike Bukowiecka, Smith's challenge is not execution within a race, but clarity of specialization. Ultimately, this event underscored a fundamental truth of the women's 400 meters. Early speed alone is not enough. Success comes from balance, between ambition and restraint, between experimentation and mastery. In Bydgoszcz, Natalia Bukowiecka didn't just win a race. She delivered a statement about readiness, maturity, and the direction of her season.